Howdy, folks. Welcome to the channel, The Agnostic Philosopher. I'm Don. I don't take overly dogmatic stances on things. I assess arguments and so forth. Of course, I have my opinions on things, but mostly about how arguments are formed. This is Rabbi Tovia Singer, who I've done some reactions to his work on the channel before, and I really like him. And I got hardcore Christians, of course, won't, because he points out the mistakes that in his estimation, obviously, because they are his thoughts, beliefs, opinions, that the New Testament poorly represents the Hebrew Bible. Let's put it this way. And that's mildly put. And he basically brings guns to gunfights. And most people, from what I've observed, who challenge him on stuff are bringing dirt to a gunfight. And that's not going to work out well. So he comes very well prepared. But in any case, I don't know what this is. Why is Christianity so like the world's biggest religion? Something like that. So let's see. It's a short. I like doing reactions to shorts. Here we go.
How could the Christians claim they believe Tanakh and every word of it, and also believe that Yashka is Messiah, and also believe that Yashka is the Son of God with no father, if we know clearly from Tanakh?
Christianity is not powerful because they believe in Tanakh. Christianity is powerful, and it's the largest religion in the world because it exploits man's greatest ailment, low self-esteem. Christianity is man's failed effort to create God in his image. Judaism is the exact opposite. It's God's successful effort to create man in his image. Exactly the opposite. They're not similar. One is against the other. Christianity is you can't do it. You're a sinner. You're lost. And it's because you're infected with the original sin, and therefore accept the guy who's much better than you'll ever be.
This is the first time I've ever done this. I'm replaying this. Then I'm going to pause it because, shorts come at you fast.
How could the Christians claim they believe Tanakh and every word of it, and also believe that Yashka is Messiah, and also believe that Yashka is the Son of God with no father, if we know clearly from Tanakh?
Christianity is not powerful because they believe in Tanakh. Christianity is powerful, and it's the largest religion in the world because it exploits man's greatest ailment, low self-esteem. Christianity...
There's certainly an element to that. I would have to think a lot more about that if that is it, because I know there's a circularity involved in that. Like, why would somebody come to Christianity? They've got low self-esteem. Why do they have low self-esteem? Because they haven't come to Christianity yet. I'm just trying to think of all the people I know, my own experience as a former fundamentalist for a number of years, going back 2.5 decades or so. Did I have low? I can't say I had low self-esteem. Some people do, but I don't know. I would say it's more a cultural thing. Maybe going back to the beginning of Christianity, but I can't even say it was due to that either. It could have been just, Paul was the primary promulgator of Christianity. And for all I know, he may have just been a very pissed off rabbi or Pharisee who maybe was upset that he wasn't moving up the ranks. I don't know. Who knows? Everybody's his or her own person and have their own reasons for doing things. He said Jesus appeared to him on the road to Damascus. Everybody around him kind of fell down. He was blinded and all this for 3 days, incapacitated, which is the hallmark of a stroke, as we now know later from medical advances that could take days before you come out of that sort of thing, but it's certainly indicative of a stroke. Doesn't mean that's what happened. But then Paul promoted aggressively those who he was reportedly persecuting. Low self-esteem, would it account for that? I don't know. But all right, let's follow with the rest of what he said, though. I like a lot of what he said.
Is man's failed effort to create God in his image. Judaism is the exact opposite.
Wait, now why is it, who was it who said, it was Voltaire, French philosopher, who said, and theologian, if God created man in his image, we have more than reciprocated. And we are anthropomorphic. We have no other basis. So we're going to attribute to our gods and our supernatural beings our own attributes so we can relate to them. Like in many ways, we sort of export our ideals into the heavens, into some other realm, and then we re-import them back down and say, this is what God said, when we ourselves have created much of it. But as far as Rabbi Singer's contention that Christianity is based on the idea that you can't do it yourself, that is true. The Hebrew Bible, was Ezekiel 18, basically says you need to seek forgiveness yourself. Nobody else can do it for you. Elsewhere it says like a father's sins will not be passed on to the son. A son's sins will not reversely be passed on to the father. You stand on your own merits. You rise or fall based on your own actions, thoughts, deeds, intentions, all those things that would otherwise be seen by a all-powerful God or a very powerful God, as is posited in the Hebrew writings and the Christian texts as well. But that is a stark difference, though. I can't do it myself. This other one who is tortured, who is better than me, and that brings it back to Rabbi Singer's point of the low self-esteem. I'm a wiggly worm. I can't do it myself. This guy was so good. I'll acknowledge him and his sacrifice. He was the good guy. That will be imparted to me just based on my confession. And there we have it. All is said and done. Hebrew Bible does say it is work. You've got to work this stuff out. You've got to work it out hard, diligently, repeatedly. In respect of Rabbi Singer, let's watch the final 17 seconds.
Successful effort to create man in his image. Exactly the opposite. They're not similar. One is against the other. Christianity is you can't do it. You're a sinner. You're lost. And it's because you're infected with the original sin, and therefore accept the guy who's much better than you'll ever be.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of succinctly puts it there, whether you agree or disagree with it. I mean, it is I love these very real perspectives. I love hearing new ideas and the way they're worded. And now I have a lot to think about, of course, but Rabbi Singer does that a lot. Yeah, as an agnostic, I do believe that there's a creator, but not because the texts say it, just because it's a function of logic and pattern recognition that we human beings have. It does make sense to me that the matter in the universe would have had a beginning, and that a being would have created it, however that would have been. Now, it's equally valid to say, then where did the creator come from? If everything has a beginning, where did the creator come from? And if I say, well, he just always was, well, then it's equally plausible to say, why couldn't the matter in the universe just always have been? And that's a valid point. So I don't take a hardcore stance on that. It just makes more sense to me that a being would have brought matter into existence, but I'm not offended if somebody says that doesn't work for them. So, all right, guys, there you have it. I mean, very interesting perspective. And that was good. There was a lot in 47 seconds. All right, have a great day, folks. Please subscribe and like, and we'll go from there. I'll see you in another video, and keep thinking philosophically.